Morning, I'm Jannarone, editor-in-chief of IPO Edge and Exec Edge. Here with KillerBurger, we have the CEO, John Dikos, along with the VP of Financial Planning and Analysis, Adam Sanders. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
And by the way, we're here on the sidelines of the ICR 2023 conference in Orlando, Florida. So gentlemen, you both joined the company in 2021. Can we just talk for a bit about what drew you into it? Maybe share a little bit of your backgrounds in the industry and why KillerBurger was the right place for you.
Yeah, sure. So got a call that the organization was looking for a board member, an independent board director, really to help coach and mentor the organization through growth. And so franchising and company store growth. So got to know the group in kind of the second half of 2021. And my history or experience before that was mostly in restaurant finance and development. I spent a number of years in banking at Qdoba Mexican Grill and then Mod Pizza, another emerging growth brand when I joined. So yeah, joined the board, was on for about 6 months, and then founder asked me to come in full time, which I did July of 21.
All right, Adam, how about you?
Yeah, so I spent the last couple years or 6 years prior to this with Anheuser-Busch, leading transaction work, did M&A work, joining Craft Brew Alliance with Anheuser-Busch. After that work wrapped up, was kind of looking for what's the next step within the career. And been a fan of KillerBurger for a long time, obviously living in Portland. Knew it as the best burger place in Portland for quite a while, one of my favorite locations. So when the opportunity came up to work with the brand I liked, and then looking and having John on board, PE investment, and really the right tools there to be able to grow the brand, I was like, this is a good opportunity for me to join and really help facilitate the growth.
Great. All right, let's talk about KillerBurger and obviously the burgers themselves, guys. So, in the last several years, there have been better burger concepts popping up all over the place here in Florida. We've got BurgerFi. It's great. Tell me what makes your burgers different and why they're the best.
Yeah. So, as a founder-led business, our founders very involved on our board, et cetera, and in the kitchen quite a bit, the food and the recipes. And his original vision was just these meticulously crafted burgers where it wasn't good enough for him to just have good tasting burgers. They also had to be good looking burgers. So the way that we call it parading the burger faces out into the dining room. So the presentation of the burger, the flavor of the burgers, and we can get into the proprietary nature of that and the way we do these 10 signature builds. And then also the functionality, really important. So, those famous kind of TV commercials of these amazing burgers, but then you try to pick one up, right? Can be really difficult to eat. And so the way we do it, just a lot of thought went into every single component there. And we do 10 signature builds, and we do a rotating quarterly LTO as well. And so in a world of build your own, one of our differences at KillerBurger is we kind of tell the guest, this is what you really want to eat. You want to eat it this way. Now, we will allow guests to modify the burger, but we don't just say, what do you want on it?
Yeah.
And again, we have a BYO kind of option, but it's a minuscule percentage of sales.
Interesting.
And to speak a little bit about some of the flavors, our second best seller is a peanut butter pickle bacon burger.
Whoa.
So when I say distinctive original builds, I'm not saying just lettuce, tomato. I mean, the founder really put his heart and soul into amazing flavors. One other thing I'd say is the cooking methods. The organization went through countless iterations of looking at grills and all these different things, but to get the perfect sear and that mouthfeel that just locks in all the flavors and juices, we use an AccuSteam grill. It's an amazing tool. It's kind of the Ferrari of flat top grills, and some secret ways of the way we smash our burger onto that AccuSteam to get the perfect sear. Adam, what would you add?
I think the intentional build is such a huge part of what we do. To add to what you said, like lots of places have a blue cheese burger, right?
Yeah.
Our burger is blue cheese, has a homemade fondue sauce. The blue cheese crumbles in it. So just taking that extra step to really go above and beyond what the competitors do to make really a top quality burger.
Great. You're making me hungry, guys. Now, on that note, we're here in Florida. You're not in Florida yet. Tell us about your expansion plans. Of course, originally from Oregon. So do you have a few locations in Portland, and then where are the others, and where are you going next?
Yeah, just about everything is within, an hour or so of the Portland metro area. So We've got some stores opening this year. In fact, just in the next couple of weeks, a second one in Eugene. We have one coming in later this spring in Salem. So along that I-5 corridor from Southern Oregon, where we're going to open this year as well, all the way up to the Seattle market in the next 6 to 12 months. We've just opened in Coeur d'Alene in the last year or so. And so that's our expansion into Idaho. We'd like to continue marching east into the Mountain West and are having some early conversations about other places, Texas as an example, et cetera. So looking at it in a few different ways, continue to infill where we already live in our backyard, the I-5 corridor from Washington down to the California state line, and then marching east into the Mountain West, eventually to the Midwest.
Gotcha. Now, you talked about your background doing M&A. Could M&A be part of the growth strategy, or is this going to be an organic growth story?
I think absolutely at the right time, it could be part of the growth strategy. The biggest thing is just making sure it's a partner that complements what we do, in a brand that aligns with our values and who the brand is, the feel of it, right? Because we don't want to go against it.
That makes sense. Now, can we talk about company-owned versus franchise stores and what your philosophy is in that? I mean, something that strikes me is that you've got to find a franchisee who's really going to be a good custodian of the brand and take care of it and do things right. Is that the way you look at it? So you've got to be careful who you choose and allow to become a franchisee?
Yeah, very much so. No, it's really important. In fact, one of our earliest franchisees was a former company operator. He was our head operator. That's a great guy, wonderful operator, lives and breathes KillerBurger. He's in his stores all the time. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, having someone so experienced from the brand side and as a franchisee. So that's something we're really proud of. And we've had some conversations recently about others taking that same kind of path. But no, you're looking for someone you're handing your baby, right? And so making sure that they're being good stewards of that. But in terms of our franchisees, I would say we're looking for, we just did our first few multi-unit agreements. And so as firsts for us towards the tail end of last year, we'll announce more about that soon. But looking for more sophisticated, larger operators that are ready to scale 5, 10, 15 restaurants.
Oh, wow.
Is something we're quite focused on.
Okay.
And then as far as the mix, at the end of this month will be 12 and 8, 12 company stores and 8 franchise stores. Franchising will really be the eventual growth vehicle. But Adam and I are pretty enamored with the idea of building up to about 20 company restaurants in the next couple of years. One of the reasons we're here, it's a capital intensive business.
Yeah.
So trying to find those right partners.
Makes sense. So now you're at 20 stores right now, and I think you just recently opened the 20th. Can you give us any sense of how many we might see in 1 year or 5 years out?
Yeah, sure. Adam, you want to hit on that?
Yeah, so I think over the next year, you're going to see us get that 26, 27 range.
Yeah.
And then at that point, grow again. 6, ramping up to maybe 10 a year, with a goal over the next 5 years to be a kind of 80 stores total. Okay. So we want to grow at a pace that, obviously is exciting enough and keeps pushing us, but also make sure we're choosing the right partners and right locations, not damaging.
Great. Now let's dig into a couple of macro topics here. Before we started here in the green room, we were talking about how you're a supply chain specialist. That's part of your responsibility in the company. How have you guys been dealing with shortage issues?
I think the biggest thing with supply chain this year has just been relationships, right? Being able to call on your bar liner and the reps and say, we're not getting the product we need. How do we resolve this? Because people, like, we run out of beef or fries, we don't have a business for that day. Yeah, and that doesn't work. So making sure you have those relationships, so you can get out ahead of stuff and problems and resolve them. Price is what it is. I mean, everything's market driven at that point. So it's been painful, but you get through it. It's really the shortages we've been trying to make sure we resolve those and have product on stores all the time.
Great. Let's talk about COVID for a second. How did you guys fare during that time? Did you do a lot of delivery and takeout, pickup?
Yeah, we really pivoted pretty quickly as an organization. So while Adam and I weren't there at the onset of COVID, I came on, like I said, in 2021 on the board. Company did a great job pivoting from really not doing anything on the digital delivery front to turning that switch on. And so it was kind of a story of haves and have-nots from a store perspective and a performance perspective. We have some urban locations, and of course, Portland in particular, besides COVID, had some additional political and social unrest. And so we had some stores that frankly just keep the team safe. It had to close for a period of time. But short, we were talking days and weeks, not months. Yeah. But still, downtown Portland, as an example, we've got a couple of great restaurants. It's probably 40-50% occupancy right now. So it's slowly coming back. Yeah. And you can see our stores that are in that urban environment kind of mirror what's going on with occupancy in the urban core. Some of our restaurants went through the roof. Really amazing performance. Yeah, as people worked from home and wanted the convenience and comfort of delivery, and America loves burgers. It's an insatiable demand.
Oh, I got you. So the offices in downtown Portland were just, right? So
Yeah.
people weren't ordering from those spots. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about inflation? Has this been an issue for you guys at all? And, you know, I mean, I imagine you're at a price point where people can, you know, it's an affordable treat, right? It's not as if people are so squeezed they can't go out and ask for a burger.
Yes, I think inflation's an issue for everybody, right?
Yeah.
The average family has been affected $600 or $700 a month.
Yeah.
Last I heard, there's something, it's affecting everyone and it affects us too. But our goal has been to make sure we provide a better value at this point. We want to make sure the experience is really top notch and what you want to get when you come to our stores. So we've done a few different things. One, unbundling our menu. We've always traditionally offered fries with burgers at a certain price point, but noting now that with families coming in, couples, like maybe they don't both need a fry, maybe they want to share a fry or have different options there, right? So it allows us to get to a more competitive price point and really give better value to the customer. So we've unbundled that way. We've offered a couple lower cost items on the menu as well. We'll still be able to keep margins good. We're trying to make sure that every customer looks at KillerBurger as a really good value, even if the price point is the same.
Great. All right. Well, I'm going to open it up to you guys. It's the second week of January here. We've got a whole year ahead of us. What are you most excited about the next 12 months?
Yeah, a couple of things. I'd say one is it's just been amazing as we've rebuilt the organization in terms of the support centers or above store level. Some of those team members have just been so amazing coming on board, being accretive to the culture, to the performance of the business. So watching those fairly new team members kind of, grow into their roles and potentials, that part's never gets old for me. So that's something we're really excited about. And then just some new restaurants. I mean, as we said, we're opening, training started today in our second Eugene store. So watching that one, it's going to be a much anticipated opening. Owned by Michael James, he was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
As a Duck. So that's real close to campus. It'll be really exciting to see. But yeah, what would you add to that?
I think it's a lot of the same. It's 2022 in lots of ways. We had to put a lot of groundwork to make sure the business fundamentals were stronger so that we could grow. And now it's really being able to see, how that transpires and goes from being a small business to a much larger business. And all the efforts we took, to lay that foundation, what does it really gain from that?
All right. Well, gentlemen, thanks so much. I'm looking forward to giving this a try next trip out west. John, Adam, thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Appreciate the
I
opportunity.
really appreciate it.
Thank you.